So, if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, I really did not like The Rise of Skywalker. In fact, it's my second least favorite Star Wars movie, with only The Phantom Menace topping it as the worst Star Wars movie. I thought it was messy, the pacing was god-awful, and there was way too much story and not enough character development. And the decisions made for each of the characters range from stupid to downright harmful to the themes of the entire Star Wars saga as a whole. But that's a video for another day. So why am I making this video if I dislike the movie so much? Well, The Rise of Skywalker became available on Disney Plus for Star Wars Day, and since I hadn't watched the movie in its entirety since it came out in theaters, I thought I'd sit down and watch it to see if it was as bad as I remembered. And it was, but there was a lot of good in the movie that I had forgotten about. I always try to play devil's advocate, so in the interest of fairness, I wanted to do a positive spin on the movie and focus solely on the things that I liked about it. And there was quite a bit, surprisingly. So, sit back and enjoy, and let me know down below what were some of your favorite moments from the movie. Let's get started. Kicking things right off at the very beginning, I ironically like this opening. It's so Saturday morning cartoon and fits in very well with the other silly Star Wars exposition crawls. I know people have been hating on it, but I personally think it's hilarious. I loved seeing Mustafar again. It's one of my favorite Star Wars planets right next to Naboo and Jakku. Oh my god, those two rhyme. Kylo cutting down fools like they're nothing is so badass. This shot of Kylo reminds me so much of Murtaugh from that terrible Aragon movie, and I'm so here for it. I love the display of piloting skills that Kylo clearly got from Han. He truly is his father's son. Say it with me now.
I got it from my daddy. I got it from my daddy.
This tracking tilt-up shot of Kylo walking to Exegol is so cool. Trailer shot, baby. I love this line.
I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head.
The pickled Snoke clones are both visually hilarious and haunting. Decrepit and half-dead Palpatine is so creepy. Kylo really does have the correct reaction. The floating space glacier is a really cool visual. I don't care what anyone says, lightspeed skipping is really cool and visually striking. Rey has gone full Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love Rey's whole training montage. What a badass queen. And I love how triumphant and heroic John Williams made Rey's theme sound in this scene. I love the all-white interior design for Kylo's quarters. Makes him stand out with his dark hair and outfit. Good job, set design. I love that the second Kylo gets into her head, Rey is no longer able to concentrate. I also love the differing emotions between Rey and Kylo in this scene. Kylo is calm, collected, and in control, whereas Rey is emotional, angry, and losing control. It's a good contrast. This is where I think the integration of Leia was used the best and looked the best. It is very impressive what they were able to do with Leia given the difficult position they were put in by Carrie Fisher's untimely death. Rest in peace, Carrie. Daisy's acting opposite Carrie in this scene should also be commended. It's not easy to act against someone who's not there, but she does a very beautiful job. I like that they brought back the sacred Jedi texts from The Last Jedi and gave them an actual purpose. I love Poe and Rey's bickering back and forth, and Finn having to play mediator between the two of them. And it makes perfect sense. From an audience standpoint, we haven't seen them interact at all outside of their brief introduction scene at the end of The Last Jedi. Plus, their personalities are almost too much alike for them to truly get along like she does with Finn. I really feel that had JJ stuck with this relationship dynamic, it could have provided a lot of turmoil and conflict within the group that would have been very interesting to watch. Kelly's rocking the new outfit and hairdo. Very flattering. I love this little moment of contemplation for Rey before the big journey begins. I love the ambiguity of it. What is she looking at? What is she feeling? You don't really know, but you can't help but feel like it's important. This hug between Rey and Leia is so emotional and so beautifully crafted from the leftover Force Awakens footage. This little bit of music that plays during Rey and the crew's departure from aging TROS is so amazing. The Knights of Ren look really cool. I just wish that they would do something. Anything.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
I like the janky design of the Knights of Ren ship. It kind of reminds me of Kylo's lightsaber and how unstable it looks. I love the shot of Kylo and the Knights of Ren walking down the hall. It's so badass. I may not be the biggest fan of Kylo's helmet. I much prefer to see his face personally, but damn if he doesn't sound cool as hell with it on.
With what I've seen on Exegol, the First Order is about to become a true empire.
Where has Richard E. Grant as a Star Wars villain been all my life? He's actually perfect in the role. I just wish the role was bigger. I love Kylo choking out this officer that questions him. So much like his grandfather. I want to personally thank Michael Kaplan for designing Poe's costume for this movie because damn. Just damn. I love the Aki Aki Festival. The aliens, the music, the colors, it's all very fun. I also love how delighted Rey is when she discovers the festival.
She would be honored to know your family name, too.
I don't have one. I'm just Rey.
I love this exchange about Rey's name. This to me is who Rey really is. And on a side note, Daisy is absolutely precious in this scene. Force bonding is my favorite new Force ability that was added in the sequel trilogy, and I'm so glad that they continue with them from The Last Jedi. They are some of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars, and this one is no exception. Just the idea that these two have such a strong bond that they're able to communicate light years apart from one another is so cool to me. I love how they expanded on Rey and Kylo's Force bond with the transportation of matter across literal space and time. We got hints of this ability in The Last Jedi, but it was never fully realized until this movie. The Sand Snake is a very cool puppet and a good way to establish Force healing early for Rey. I like this little erratic motif for the Knights of Ren. The shots of Rey in the desert are gorgeous and very reminiscent of The Force Awakens. This wide shot in particular is probably my favorite shot in the entire movie. Daisy Ridley is always beautiful, but she looks particularly gorgeous in these desert scenes, so good job makeup, hair, and costume team. I am living for the Mr. Darcy vibes Kylo's giving off in this walk he's doing. What a king. I love this tug-of-war battle between Rey and Kylo. It's such a good display of how they're equally matched in the Force. And it's a great callback to them fighting over Luke's saber in The Last Jedi. Rey's scream gives me such goosebumps. Daisy absolutely nailed it.
I had a vision of the throne of the Sith and who was on it.
Ren.
And me.
The set for Kijimi is so cool. There's not really much else to say, it's just so impressive that they actually built all of that. Round of applause once again for the set design. Excellent work, everybody. I love Zori Bliss and Poe's chemistry. I really wish we could have seen more of them together. This banter between them is great.
Rey and
I
Finn,
could pull this trigger right now
I've seen you do worse.
for a lot less.
Can we just, talk about this?
I want to see your brains in the snow.
So you're still mad?
I love this little interaction between Rey and Zori. They would be the best gal pals talking shit about Poe. It would be so amazing.
We could really use your help. Please. Not that you care, but I think you're okay.
I care.
Babu Frick is too precious for this world and must be protected at all costs. I love the threatening finger point that Kylo gives Hux after he basically asked to blow up the planet Kijimi with Rey still on it. He's basically going,
"Bitch, I hope the fuck you do! You'll be a dead son of a bitch, I tell you that!"
Man, not gonna lie, Poe and Zori Bliss are so freaking cute together. Can we get a show greenlit about them running Spice? I would so watch it. I really love this long take of Finn and Poe shooting while running down the hallway. It's pretty cool to see them work together like that. Daisy's acting during this Force Bond fight scene is so good. You can really feel all the frustration and anger that she takes out on Kylo. Another great shot perfectly demonstrating the Force Bond connection they have. I love this fight scene so much. It's so cool seeing them switch from location to location and having the matter transportation be a big part of the fight. Also, Kylo realizing where Rey is because of the Vader mask is so freaking brilliant. The design for Ochi is really cool and creepy. I would have liked to have seen more of it. I live for Kylo's dramatic unmaskings. He gets one every movie and they never fail to make my heart flutter. Boy even got a blowout and everything for Rey this time, looking like a Prince Charming. Kylo being the only one to hold his ground against the Falcon's engines is so cool. Jannah looks so awesome. I really wish we could have seen more of her and gotten to know her better. I love seeing Rey climb around the Death Star wreckage like how we first saw her when she was scavenging in The Force Awakens. It was so nice for me to think back to her humble origins. Ooh, you gotta love that haunting rendition of the Imperial March theme. I really like Dark Rey. All 20 seconds of her. Kylo's reaction to Rey igniting her saber on him for like the 500th time is so great. Calm down, Rey, he just wants to talk. This line delivery hurts my heart so much.
You can't go back to her now. Like I can't.
Kylo crushing the Wayfinder is so hot. I love that Kylo doesn't instigate the fight or ignite his saber until he absolutely has to. Meanwhile, Rey is going absolutely ham on him. This moment. So awesome. I love Rey and Kylo using each other's moves to force freeze their sabers. They're actively teaching and learning from one another during this fight, and it's so cool to watch. I love that Rey actually struggles and is clearly no match for Kylo since he's in peak physical condition. This is also another great example of Rey being angry, out of control, and offensive, while Kylo is passive, in control, and defensive. By Jove, I believe I'm sensing a pattern! And this right here proves just how out of control Rey was during this entire fight scene. Stabbing a disarmed Kylo right through the gut in a moment of weakness for him is such a dick move. It's only through the death of Leia that she's able to snap out of it and realize what she's done. But then she heals Kylo and everything's all better now, yay!
I did want to take your hand. Ben's hand.
Both Rey and Kylo's reactions are amazing as they come to terms with what is essentially the closest thing to a love confession this side of, you're nothing, but not to me. You guys seriously need to work on your communication skills. Okay, so I'm just gonna gush about this scene for a hot minute, so please bear with me because there's just so much to talk about. This entire scene is so brilliant in how it's presented. Han Solo appearing to Ben not as a Force ghost, but as a memory of the night he was killed is heartbreaking. We hear the same dialogue from the bridge scene being spoken between the two of them, but it suddenly has new meaning. I feel like people really misinterpret this scene. I've heard people say, "It doesn't count, Han wasn't actually there to forgive him, it's all in his head." But here's the thing, Han didn't need to forgive Ben. He forgave his son for what he did the second he laid his hand lovingly on his cheek. Ben needed to forgive himself. That is the entire point of this scene. Han, Luke, Leia, Rey, they never lost hope in Ben, even in his darkest moments. They all tried and failed to bring Ben back to the light. And they failed because Ben didn't think he was worthy of the light. He was holding himself back, convinced that he was too far gone and could never return home. This scene is him facing up to what he did and forgiving himself for it. And by doing so, he is finally free to embrace the light again. Where is Adam's goddamn Oscar?
Dad.
I know.
I love that Ben Solo both literally and figuratively throws away his Kylo Ren persona to become who he is always meant to be. The Final Order costumes are slick as hell. I love the red detailing. I love this little moment of Poe talking to Leia. As someone who's always liked Poe as a character, it's really cool to see him come into his own finally as the true leader of the Resistance. Love seeing Octo again. I really like this exchange.
What are you most afraid of?
Myself.
I'm not a huge fan of Jedi Leia as a concept, but I will admit it was cool to see what could have been with younger Luke and Leia training together. And Mark Hamill's DH face looks great. Even though I don't like how they portrayed Luke in this movie, I will not deny that him raising the X-Wing out of the water is pretty freaking awesome. And the music, amazing. I love this ominous wide shot of Rey arriving on Exegol. I love the music that plays when Palpatine opens up the ceiling for Rey. It's very Revenge of the Sith-ish. Words cannot describe how my heart leapt out of my chest seeing Ben Solo appear for the first time in all of his glory. The hair, the good boy sweater, the physicality, the Solo sass, the no-look shot with the blaster, the ow. Everything about him and the way Adam Driver plays him is pitch perfect. The final Force bond and lightsaber handoff is one of the best scenes in the entire movie. The trust and love built between these two has never felt more tangible and real than in this moment. Look at Ben's little nod to Rey. It's almost like he's telling her, "It's okay, I'm here, you're not alone." And on top of all of that, Adam Driver looks absolutely gorgeous. So once again, a round of applause for the hair, makeup, and costume departments. The Solo shrug heard round the world. Iconic. Seeing Ben Solo kill off the Knights of Ren like they're nothing with his grandfather's saber is probably the hottest thing I've ever seen. And it's a little thing, but I love how different Adam moves as Ben. He's much freer, lighter, and quicker than he ever was as Kylo Ren. Almost like a literal weight has been lifted off of his shoulders. Ben and Rey finally coming together to face off against Palpatine is fantastic. I will never get tired of seeing these shots of them working together.
As once I fell, so falls the last Skywalker.
At least Palpatine acknowledges who the true last Skywalker is. I like hearing all the Jedi of the past reach out to Rey when she most needs them. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Qui-Gon, the gang's all here. Would I have preferred to have seen them as actual Force ghosts instead of disembodied voices? Of course I would have. But as it is, I'm just glad we got what we did. This is the real Rise of Skywalker. Ben struggling to get to Rey and holding her dead body hurts me so much, but it's so well acted. You can just feel every broken bone as he strains himself to pull her into his lap as gently as possible. This entire scene is a masterclass in nonverbal acting. Without any words, Adam completely sells the sheer panic of Ben realizing that Rey is gone and he is all alone. Guilt, regret, sadness, fear, determination, every possible emotion is on display here. There's a reason that Adam is known as the king of micro-expressions in Hollywood. Ben finally did what Anakin could not, and saved the one he loved from death. I finally got the Reylo kiss I had been waiting for since December 17th, 2015. And as happy as I am about that, I would have given up 1,000 Reylo kisses if that meant that Ben Solo got to live. This beautiful smile will haunt me till the day I die. Man, what could have been between these two? I love Rey's little reunion with BB-8, and her checking his antenna like she did when they first met in The Force Awakens is adorable. I am a sucker for emotional reunions between characters, so this whole scene got to me. Rey sledding down the little sand dune as her theme plays was a very heartwarming and nostalgic moment for me. Well, it's about time Rey built her own saber. Even though I wish it was a double-ended lightsaber, I love the yellow color of the blade and that she built the hilt from pieces of her scavenger staff. So there you go, a grand total of 96 things that I liked about The Rise of Skywalker. We did it, y'all. Let it be known that on this day, I said something positive about the movie. But with that being said, I am far from being done with The Rise of Skywalker. Oh no, I am just getting started with it. As Luke told Rey in The Last Jedi, balance. Powerful light, powerful dark. I'll see you guys next time, and may the Force be with you.